Hope everyone is doing well and having a great summer so far. I apologize for getting this video out to you late, but this is a really good one. I hope you guys have been able to read what has been going on. I first want to preface this by saying one of the things I absolutely love about the Book of Mormon, hope you guys notice this, is that we start getting such incredible stories that teach us things. And at the same time, doctrine is also being taught by the people that are in those stories. And the stories are really great and they all connect together like a big narrative. And this is one of those amazing stories. You have the missionaries, Alma the Younger, that was converted. If you guys remember earlier, he's the one that was struck down and was brought back and converted. And he and Sons of Mosiah all went on missions. And this section is talking about Alma and his mission. Specifically, Alma goes to Ammonihah to preach, and he meets Amulek. And I don't know if you guys can see on the left this image. Those are the two, Alma and Amulek. I don't know who is who. You guys can use your imagination on that one. But if you see the things that they did there, they did a lot of amazing things, and they taught a lot of amazing things. I just want to briefly go over some of the amazing things that happened. And then I hope you guys actually read these chapters to read the amazing things that they taught, because they taught so much about the gospel itself, so much of almost everything actually from beginning to end. But look on the right hand side and you'll see this list. This is a summary of what happened. Okay, this story is so amazing. If you took this and put it into a screenplay, you could make an absolutely incredible film from this with action, with tragedy, with redemption. It's just amazing. So number one, Alma goes and preaches in Ammonihah, but he's rejected. He's kicked out of there. God comes to him in a vision, I believe, and commands him to return to Ammonihah. Why? Because he's supposed to find Amulek, which he does, and he converts Amulek. So the two of them actually go preach together to the people of Ammonihah. But they again are met with resistance, including Zeezrom, who was a very high-powered lawyer at the time. They contend with him, they go back and forth, and it's actually very interesting if you read it. These two act like missionaries should. Amulek finishes saying a whole bunch of things. Alma figures out that Zeezrom is kind of back on his heels, and he comes right in to finish him off. In a good way, of course. Because of this, Zeezrom is actually converted. He starts to realize he's wrong. He starts to see that he has been deceiving other people, and then he's wrong, and he starts to get all feel really guilty. He feels this guilt in his soul, and he's converted. So the other people still reject Amulek and Alma, and Zeezrom and others start to stand up for them, but they are persecuted and they are stoned. Now, this is the really sad and tragic part. If you guys read this, and I'm going to read a scripture of it in the next slide. But they gather up a whole bunch of the families of these people that were converted and did believe, and they actually burn them in a big fire. They burn them. They burn whatever records they had with the truth. And Alma and Amulek have to stand there and watch it because they're being restrained. And I just want you guys to think about how difficult that would be. See all of these people that you just taught the gospel to, that you just helped to get the gospel in their lives. And you have to stand there and watch them being burned alive. We're talking men, women, and children. This is really difficult. And Amulek says to Alma, I don't know how we can watch this. How can we stand here and watch this? And again, I'm going to read a scripture on the next slide, the way that Alma responds. So after they have to watch this, they're put in prison where they're mistreated. They're beaten, they're mocked, they're spit on, their clothes are taken from them, they're denied food and water. And they're there for many days. We don't know how many that means, but they're there for a long time. They have judges and people coming in and mocking them to their faces and saying, "Why don't you use your God's power?" And all of this is for a reason. All of this is God gave the people of Amanaha so many opportunities, and this is the way they treated these two missionaries sent from God. So after many days, finally, the Lord grants them power. They break their bonds, and the prison is destroyed. Everybody else outside of Amulek and Alma in the prison is killed. Amulek and Alma then go to Sidon, where Zizram and many other people who are believers have fled, and they actually establish the gospel there. So everybody in Sidon left alive who believe in the gospel now is in a different place where that they can flourish and worship. And then finally, after Amalek and Alma go back to Zarahemla, the Lamanites come upon Ammonihah, and it is completely destroyed. So that is the judgment of the Lord upon these people. Now, this is the section I was talking about. Okay, this is in. I did not put the chapter. I think it is Alma 15. Could be 14. Anyways, go read it. Go read all those chapters. But this is where they bring all of the people together, their wives and their children, and they cast them into a fire. And Amulek he can't handle it. He says, Alma, how can we witness this awful scene? Let's use the power of God and save them. But this is the really important verse here. Alma says unto him, the Spirit constraineth me that I must not stretch forth mine hand. For behold, the Lord receiveth them up into himself in glory, and he doth suffer that they may do this thing, or that the people may do this thing unto them, according to the hardness of their hearts, that the judgments which he shall exercise upon them in his wrath may be just. And the blood of the innocent shall stand as a witness against them, yea, and cry mightily against them at the last day. Now, why do I highlight this and why do I bring this up? I think it is very important for all of us to understand how important this life is, that we have this opportunity to follow the gospel, to learn and to become more like God, but also how short this life is. And in the grand scheme of things, how unimportant the things of this world are. If that doesn't make sense, let me explain it a little bit more. We are here as a test to learn. We are not here for all of existence. Death is actually a good, welcome thing. The fact that these people had to suffer before they died is obviously a terrible thing. However, as Alma says here, they are received by the Lord into glory. The apostles that were martyred, some of them horribly, were definitely received unto glory. Anti-Nephi Lehites that we'll read about later on, the ones that buried their weapons of war and would not fight against the Lamanites and were slaughtered, they are being received unto the Lord in glory. I'm sure that some of you probably know some people who died early or went through some suffering and persecution. And if you haven't, you will come across that in your life. Please know and understand that if these people are brought to the Lord early, that they will be received in glory if they were righteous. I've seen some of my family have to leave early, and it's been very sad for many of my family, but it has really helped me to look at things in an eternal perspective and understand that they are in a better place now. So I just wanted to bring that up as probably something that this is probably one of the less talked about aspects of this part of the scriptures. But that's very important to me. And I thought I would bring it up with you guys. Finally, look at all these things that the people of Ammonihah did to Alma and Amulek and all those other people. How many chances did the Lord give these people? How many times did he send Alma and then Alma and Amulek and then even Zizram to testify to these people about the gospel? And yet they rejected it again and again and again and were rebellious. So while we learn a lot of incredible things from Alma and Amulek in the words that they say while they're preaching, the story itself is a warning to us and is very instructional. Think about our own lives. Think about ourselves. Are we being rebellious? Are we in a right place with our relationship with God? Hopefully, we're nowhere near what the people of Ammonihah did. But I'm sure that if we examine ourselves, we could probably find some ways that we need to adjust our will and align it with God's. I love the story. I love the story of all these missionaries, Alma and the sons of Mosiah. We got a lot more to come. It's just incredible. They're amazing. And I hope you guys are keeping up with this summer and reading it and following along with the incredible narrative. I love the Book of Mormon so much. And I just want to leave these thoughts with you today. Maybe there's some that you guys thought about or noticed in this part of Come Follow Me. But if not, hopefully this adds to the insights that you guys are already getting. Love you guys. I miss you guys. Don't forget to register for seminary. And we hope to see you there in the mornings in the fall. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.